If you've ever wanted to save your images as a template, so you can use it easily in your blog posts or the slider picture, the header at the top, like this one, in your website, or for social media for sharing. There's a couple of different ways you can do that. One really easy way that I recommend is using Canva, because you can create multiple images that are very similar and just change out the picture or just change out the text so you have different text on the same picture. In this case, I want to change this slider picture, the one at the very top, or in this case, not actually a slider, it's a background picture, and I will have a floating logo on top of it. So this is the picture, this is the kind of template that I've set up in Photoshop. So I've got the size set up for what I need, so 1600 by 550, so that makes it a little bit narrower at top, and it's just a good setting so it fills up the whole width of the page. And you can see I've got a couple of different images here, and I can show them to you just by turning off that little icon in Photoshop. So this is Mission Hill, and this is just a view of Lake Okanagan. And if you want to see it, you can also have, let's move these around, you can see with logos, different types of logos. And I can turn them off and on. Okay, so right now I don't need the logos, but I've left that if I just want to have it as a background image instead of having something slide into it, and I'll show you what I mean in a minute. But let's say I want to add a new picture. So all I would do is I've already found a picture from CanStock and downloaded it to my computer. So I just want to open a new picture, and this is the one that I want here. And make sure that you label it well on your computer with some keywords. So Kelowna, Lake Okanagan, Sunset Commercial, because this is going to be for some commercial property listings, because that's going to show up when you upload it to your WordPress website, to your media file. Right, so this is the image, and this one was actually, like I said, a stock image paid for at CanStock. You can take your own pictures and do exactly the same thing. So what I do is I actually pull it out here, so I've got two separate images instead of having them layered on top of each other. And all I do is click on here, so you can see it's got the little finger. I use Shift, so hold down Shift, and that's on a Mac, and just drag it over, and it will actually center the image. So you can see right here, because I've got Auto Select and Show Transform controls, you can actually see that the picture that I've got is a little bit bigger than the one that I've got the frame for. So that's not a problem, because then you can always move things around. And if I just press Tab, and let's change views here, so F, you can see a little bit better the handles that I can either squish the image, but I don't really want to do that, or if it was a little bit bigger, then I could actually just shrink it down. In our case, all I want to do is be able to move it, so just drag it up and down, so get it framed the way you want to. In some images it makes more of a difference, in this one it doesn't. And let's say that's the way I want to do it, so just hit enter. And I'm going to go back to the regular view, so that's F is the shortcut to go through the gray background, the black background, and showing your screen in the background. And then Tab brings back all the menus and things. Alright, so you can see, like I said, I can just drag and drop it. If you drag it too far, then you start to see the image below. So just be careful of that. And click off of it, and there's the image that I want to save. And you can see it's layered up here, so it would cover up the logos and everything that I've got. So I just want to drag it to be below all the logos, just in case I ever want to use it. And for me, that's just a style thing. I tend to stack it visually here as I would stack it kind of intuitively in layers. It just helps me to keep things organized. So you can see I can turn off the eyeball there and then just take a look at each of the images. And now I want to save this whole thing with all these layers, because like I said, this has become a template. So I'm just going to hit save because it's already got the name that I want, multiple images with logo option in Photoshop. And just hit save. It's changed. I want to save it anyway. Okay. And then to create just a single image that I'm going to upload to my website, I'm going to do Save As, and this time I just want to save it as a JPEG. So remember, I've already got this optimized to the right size. It was 1600 by 550 pixels, and it's going to save it as a copy, you can see here. So it's going to eliminate all the other things that are not seen, And I'm just going to hit, actually I'm going to rename it because of course I want to have it with the right name here. So I don't need all this part. It's going to be Okanagan, downtown Kelowna. Something like that. And save a copy. So I would ask you if you want to compress it a bit more. So 600K is pretty good at 11, so I wouldn't have it any more than about 700K. And that's it. So now it's saved on my computer. Now I can close this one. This was just the single image that I added to my, my little template. Now I want to actually add it to the website. So this is the image that I'm going to replace here. Actually, I can just edit it right from here. So let's just do that. So edit page. And it's this slider here that I want. I don't want the full width slider anymore. I'm actually just adding a section. And I want it to be the full width, or the whole width of my section, not the full width, because that's the purple one there. And I just want it to be, I could just have a single image, and I'll show you the difference if I just have an image, which is what we've got here for the contact page. And upload image. And I want to upload a file. So you can drag and drop it from your desktop or from wherever you've got it on your computer, or you can just go to select files and find it. So I've got it selected by date order, so it comes up at the very top for my newest one. And I always put in the size just so I know when I'm looking at it, just from the title, whether it's a slider. So you can see I'm very meticulous about how I name things. But some of these smaller ones here, I've got the graphics, so I've got the size of the graphics. These ones down here are buttons, 250 by 125, so I know right from seeing it that it's a button. And then I've got this one here, which is actually a bigger button. In this case, I didn't put the size in, which I'll probably go back and rename it. So that just helps you to stay organized when you're looking for things throughout your media files or on your desktop. So there you go. You can see it's 1600 by 500. And it comes up with the title. So the title is just picked from whatever you've called it here. And I generally just copy that depending on what your keywords are. So I don't actually need this part here with the big long thing. I just need the title. Oops, I think I copied the wrong one. There we go. So I don't necessarily need the pixels in that one or even the header slider. I just need the name of the picture. So this is what shows up if your picture happens to be missing, or if somebody puts the mouse over it, they will actually see this text. But all of these three things, the named image file, the title, and the alt text, does help a little bit. Each time a little bit helps in search engine optimization. So I've set the image there. I don't want it to open in Lightbox. I can actually link it to somewhere else, but in this case I don't need to. I don't want it to be animated. So no animation. You know, I think I've just put this in the wrong place. I'll know in just a second. The image, this is Sunset Kelowna. And even here, I'm really meticulous to keep my titles so it's easier to see. And now I can delete this full width slider because I don't need that one anymore. And let's preview the changes and see what it looks like. Right, so because I didn't make it all the way across, I didn't put it in the background, I've just got it as an image. You'll see the difference in a second. Let's change it so that it goes across all the way. So go back to edit. There's two different places that you can add the image. So I added it here. So this isn't where I really want it, so I'm just going to copy it and delete it. So make sure to hit save. I want to put it here, which is kind of the background part of that image. So you can see it's a bit confusing. You just have to get used to where things are, and it's not a big deal. You can see it's, you know, takes 3 seconds to fix it. And right here I can use Parallax or not. So Parallax kind of keeps the image stationary, and then you roll through it. And you see this a lot with really long pages, and I've used it for one of the sections on this website, but at the top of the page I don't typically do it. So I just need to hit save, and we'll preview it again and you'll see the difference. This time it should go all the way across. There we go. And I can see that it's really shrunk up the image. So I'm going to have to adjust the image size. And I'll just show you on one of the other pages. Residential Properties does have it already adjusted. So this is what it looks like on the residential page. And you can see I've added this text here with a contact button, and then this logo drops in a little bit later. So this is done a little bit differently. Instead of just having that single image like I did in the last one, you can see it's a regular section, and then there's a call to action button. So I've done this as, instead of just adding a single row with one section, I've done a single row with probably either 1/4 and 3/4 or 1/3 and 2/3. I can just see by the placements here. It's probably 1/3 and 2/3. So this is the image of the logo that fades in. So again, that's just a file. And then all I did was allow it to have some animation, and that's it. And then this is the call to action, which is just a text box. And because I wanted to choose my spacing on the text, I could have put it up here, but I did want to have it on 2 separate lines, and I wanted to control where I put the enter so that in Kelowna was on a separate line. And then if you look at the text, it's actually heading 2, so it's very similar to what the call to action box would look like anyway. So there's just different ways that you can control the text. You know, I could even have it as a different color if I want it in red. And this right here is just the button and the link to the button, and whether you want to have light or dark text. So I won't save it because it already exists, but I can delete this. And that's just showing the difference between this kind of heading and the original heading. So this one probably show the old picture because I haven't actually updated the file yet, I don't believe. Right, so that's the old picture. So this one was a heading, and in this case a heading is probably a better option because it keeps it a little bit narrower. Because there's no text, when there wasn't any text, it just shrunk it down. You saw that little kind of wedge of a picture. So sometimes you can see that the picture width that you've chosen doesn't quite work out. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it as a full width section, and you'll actually see the difference between these two. So insert a module. So this is full width slider. I'm adding a new slide. So I've chosen that as a background image. I don't want any headings or buttons. And just save it. And save again, and then preview. And there you can see this one is preferable. And this one just didn't work. It's just kept it very narrow. Sometimes I have no idea why it does this, but it's just part of the program and or part of the theme. And instead of choosing that one, then I'll just choose this one. It's a better fit. So when I actually do have text on it, then it works better to use this as the single section, as we saw on one of the other pages on the residential properties page. And in this case, with just a picture with no text, it works better to make it as the full width slider. So that was the purple version instead of as the blue version, which is just a regular width section. All right, so now I would go through and I would delete this and delete that one. And then I would hit update because I want to save it now. And then I can preview changes again. And we'll just have the single image that we're interested in keeping. There we go. So that's it. So that's how you can make yourself a template and have various different images, and how you can test it on your website and see which way works better for you, if you want to have some text coming in or if you just want to have a plain image.